Hi, I'm Alex Page, the roaming chef, and I drive all across Durham region in search of the best ingredients. Today we'll be going to Banjo Cider, where I am going to make cider braised sausage with apples and fennel alongside a crispy gnocchi. Today is going to get juicy. Let's pack up and hit the road. It is such a beautiful drive up to Banjo Cider. The fall colors are out and it's still warm, so it's a perfect day for cooking with apples. I'm really excited to cook up this delicious fall meal today. Hey Patty, how's it going?
Hello, good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. I love coming here. This is one of my favorite places.
Aw, thanks. Yeah. I know you go to a lot of beautiful places.
So I saw when we were coming in, I saw like all these bushels of apples on the side of the driveway. What's that all about?
Yeah, crates. That's from our Citizen Cider project. They pick them, they bring them here, and we buy them off them, and then we press them and make a Citizen Cider.
So I think today what I'm gonna do is get some cider from you.
Okay, I'm dying to know.
Yeah, I'm gonna braise some sausages in cider with apples and fennel.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna do a crispy gnocchi with it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
And of course you'll get to eat some.
I can't wait.
Yeah. If you wanna go grab me a bottle of cider, I'm gonna set up a kitchen in the barn back there, I think, and we'll cook. So I want to start by saying thank you to Patty and her partner Tony for allowing me into this beautiful space. Since we're at the cidery, I'm going to use the cider to braise some sausages. We're going to add some nice aromatics like garlic, sage, bay leaf. We're also going to add some apple and some fennel. And then we're going to serve all of that with gnocchi, and not just any kind of gnocchi, but crispy gnocchi. So first thing we're gonna start with, we are going to get a frying pan going here, nice and hot. And don't be afraid to cook things on high heat. That is how we get a nice sear. We create a nice crust. So I love this dish because it's sort of reminiscent of a nice comfort meal that's sort of been slow cooked for a long time, and it was a lot of work, but it's a trick because it is not a lot of work. Once my pan's on high, I'm gonna add just a touch of olive oil, and then we are going to start browning these sausages. And so we can hear that sizzling, and that is a beautiful sound. That's like music, right? And what we wanna make sure of, don't move the pan around, don't flip the sausages, let the pan do the work. While this sausage is browning, you can start preparing your apples and your fennel. You can also have a sip of cider. So I'm going to cut my apple here just into wedges. All right, so these sausages look like they're starting, oh yeah. All right, when you let the pan do the work, you will be rewarded. Check this out. I mean, look at that, right? I've cut up our apple. Now I'm going to work with this fennel. To prepare this, I'm just going to cut off the top stalks. The fronds, or the frilly bits, are completely edible, have a ton of fennel flavor, and they work as you would use a fresh herb, so for garnish or torn into a salad. I like to remove the outer bits just because they seem to get damaged. And then we cut it into slices. Sausage is nice and brown. We've developed a lot of flavor. So I'm just gonna transfer them to a plate. And what happens, we start to get these brown bits in the bottom of our pan. And we want to deglaze the bottom of this pan, right? And so you'd naturally think we do that with liquid, which we will, but you can start the deglazing process with your veg and your fruit. When you add something like a vegetable or a fruit to a pan after you've seared the meat, it's going to release its natural moisture and juices, and that's going to begin deglazing that pan and picking up all those crunchy, flavorful bits. We can start seasoning it. So I always like to season as I go. So every time I'm introducing new items into my pan, pinch of salt, crack of pepper, so if we have a look in here, we can see that that veg, so that fennel and these apples are starting to pick up all of those brown bits. And with a wooden spoon, I'm just kind of releasing them. And we see all these natural juices coming out of the fennel and the apple. And so I just want the fennel and the apple to get a little bit of color. And then we're gonna start adding in our aromatics. And we're gonna add in that final deglaze with none other than Banjo cider. Let's prepare our aromatics. So for this, garlic, sage. When I cook them, people go, oh, this is delicious. Don't be afraid to use a lot of herbs, to use a lot of garlic, to get that extra color. And the last aromatic, a little bit of fresh bay leaf. If you only have dried, that works as well. Oh yeah. So we have a look. Our apple and our fennel now is starting to caramelize a little bit. Right? It's done its job, picking up those crispy bits off of the bottom. Herbs go in, stem and all. All right? If you take them off of the stem, you're throwing away flavor. Toss this through and wait for these smells to start. And right when that is really starting to smell good, we're gonna go in with our cider. Patty actually set aside for me some of their 007 cider, the Northern Spy. I just got that reference. Enough to fill about a third of your pan. I cannot wait to eat lunch today. I'm gonna let that come up to a boil, which it's already starting. We go in with a wooden spoon, scrape up any crispy bits on the bottom. When your sausages have been sitting here off to the side, you're gonna have some juice that's collected on the bottom of the pan. That is going in the dish, all right? And just make sure the sausages are nestled right into that liquid. Braising is just slowly cooking in a liquid. And what happens when we do that, we're developing a lot of flavor and we're tenderizing whatever we're cooking. Now, I'm gonna turn that down to low. If you're using an oven-safe pan, this can go lid right into the oven. If you're doing it on a cooktop, lid, turn it right down to low. If you have a frying pan that doesn't have a lid, take a sheet of parchment paper, wrinkle it up, get it nice and wet. We take this and we tuck it on top of our pan. The great thing about doing this as well, you do leave a couple edges and corners exposed, so your braising liquid is going to start naturally reducing into a nice sauce. Kip, the farm dog, is in here because it smells good. So I've just turned that on really low. It's just bubbling. I can just hear it bubbling a little bit. The sauce is already reducing. In about 30 to 40 minutes, that sausage is going to be nice and tender, and we can serve that with some crispy gnocchi. About 35 minutes later, let's take a look. Oh, come on. This smells incredible. And let's have a peek in here. We can see all of this cider has reduced into a sauce. Our sausage is cooked, it's tender, right? Some of that fat's come out of the sausage and gone into the sauce. All right, gotta keep cooking. Cover that, we can set that off to the side, just keep it warm. I wanted to do something nice and crispy on the side. So I'm gonna do gnocchi. Not like a lot of people say gnocchi, it's gnocchi. When you make your own gnocchi at home, that's going to be the best quality gnocchi that you're gonna get, all right? But it is very labor intensive. Store-bought gnocchi is okay. However, I find when you boil store-bought gnocchi, it tends to get gummy or pasty. So what do? Skip the boiling. I'm gonna be going right from the package into the pan. In my frying pan here, I'm gonna put a generous amount of olive oil. You could do just with salt and pepper, would be great. But because it's the fall, you know, some nice woodsy herbs like rosemary will work great in here. And all you have to do to sort of activate these oils, you can even just hit it on the back of your hand, or take the back of your chef's knife and just give it a gentle tap. And if you smell that, incredible. Once your oil is hot, you're going to carefully place the gnocchi in the pan. I just like to create an even layer so all of the gnocchi kind of are making contact with the pan. Don't shake the pan, don't move the pan. Let them get crispy. Can you hear that? So we can start to season it. So a little bit of cracked black pepper on top. I am going to add Parmigiano on top. So we can be careful with the salt. And then now let's have a look here. Oh my God. So when we flip it, because we didn't touch it, we can see these beautiful golden brown crispy bits. And after that toss, we're gonna allow the same thing to happen. Allow more golden crispy bits. And we do that a couple more times. And then for the last 30 seconds or so, we throw that whole sprig of rosemary right in there. It will release its oils. We toss it. It's gonna coat all that oil in there. We top with Parmigiano. Pour a cider. Oh yeah. You see that coating of olive oil, right? Over top all that gnocchi. Beautiful golden brown. They sound crispy, all right? So now we're gonna go last 30 seconds. Rosemary goes in. Make sure you nestle that right into that olive oil and you'll hear the crackling. Toss it all around. I'm gonna go in with a bit more cracked black pepper. Let's grate a really generous amount of parm over top. Heat goes off. This is done, and this is gonna work great alongside our sausage, and even better with a cold glass of cider. Okay, time to plate. We are going to take some of these sausages. Look at that. I am going to plate one for myself as well. We're gonna finish with this, this sauce. Think of how much cider went in there and we look at how much that's reduced down to. So that is just pure concentrated flavor. Remember these beautiful fennel fronds that we saved? We pluck a few of these. Maybe one last crack of pepper. And that is it. Cider braised sausage with apple, fennel, and crispy gnocchi. All of those flavors, fennel, apple, sage, pork, cider. The veg too, because we only cook for half an hour, still has a little bit of texture, which is nice. And then that gnocchi. I might hang out here for 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna go take this beautiful dish to Patty. All right, best part of the day.
Yeah, look at this.
Look at
my
this.
God.
I already
That
ate
looks
some of mine because I
amazing.
couldn't help myself. Okay, try that.
So good.
Right?
Yeah, with the cider and everything.
You can
Kind
taste
of
the
like
apple.
infused in there,
Yes.
yeah.
The
Look at
the
these
flavor of the
apples.
apple goes right into the sausage,
I
yeah.
love how the apples are like sort of caramelized.
Did you try the fennel?
So good. And the texture.
Right?
Okay,
You
the
have to try the
gnocchi. I
gnocchi,
love
too.
gnocchi.
I did not make it, but Yeah, Kip has been smelling this all day too.
Yes, love this all. This is really like a really hearty fall kind of meal.
Well, thank you for having me today.
Yeah, thank
Cheers
you. It was really
again.
fun. It's great
That was
to have
amazing.
you. Thanks,
Yeah.
Alex.
I'm Alex Page, the roaming chef, and I'll catch you at the next farm.